when women didn't have rights,
Yeah,
the men
that's true.
didn't want
Yeah.
women to have rights.
Yeah.
They were saying things like, no, for years women haven't had
Yeah.
rights. Men are better, we're superior, they're beneath us. In the future, we'll look back and go, what the hell? My grandparents ate animals?
Yeah.
So, did you read what the sign says?
Yeah, about the vegan and the abuse thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you agree or disagree with the sign?
I think I'm kind of stuck both ways because I can see why in some ways that it's kind of hurtful to animals. Like when you don't have organic food,
Right.
that's obviously done in a better way, but in some ways you still have that abuse to the animals. But I don't agree with like all the slaughterhouses and stuff because that's quite bad for them.
So you've obviously got compassion for animals, which
Yeah.
I really love that about you.
I mean, I eat meat. Like, I don't think it's good to go without meat because obviously we're humans and we kind of need that.
Okay, there's a couple of things you've touched on. The first thing I want to ask is, what is it about organic that you think is okay?
Well, I mean, it's kind of done a bit better than going just straight into the slaughterhouse, isn't it? It's kind of...
What's the difference though? Do you know the difference, or is this something you've been told and you kind of believe?
I don't really know the exact difference.
That's okay, because I didn't know for years too. So they tell you things like organic and grass-fed and free range to make us, the consumer, feel better about actually paying for an animal to go to the slaughterhouse. For some reason, when they say these things to us, it kind of covers up the fact that the animals actually get stabbed in the throat. Organic just means that they aren't injected with growth hormones and antibiotics. That's it. So for the animal, it actually doesn't really do anything for them. They're still inside farms and they still essentially go to slaughterhouses. So my question is to you, even if an animal lived a really nice life and then got taken to a slaughterhouse, is that still okay?
Well, so I'm kind of on one side because I don't really like eating baby animals. Just like lamb and stuff, you know that's... I think that when you know something, it kind of sways your opinion a bit more.
Definitely.
So when you know that a lamb is a baby sheep, you're still kind of like, don't know if I'd... Because
it feels wrong, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I was the same. I used to eat animals too, and I didn't eat lambs because of this reason. But and I think it's because I kind of connected to them. I saw that they were really cute little babies, and I kind of felt like, who am I to put a baby in a slaughterhouse? But actually, pigs, only 6 months old. In the dairy industry, the babies go to slaughter only a few weeks. Male chicks in the egg industry, 1 day old. They get blended up alive in a blender. Because they don't produce eggs. And they're all babies. But even if they weren't babies, do you still think it's okay to send anybody to a slaughterhouse?
Well, if you kind of put it like that, you could kind of agree that it's not right. But then you can then also agree with the biology side that humans need meat. We kind of... you can find supplements and you can find things to kind of help you in a way that isn't just normal meat. But I think that as humans we kind of need them.
What is it in animals that you think we need?
Well, it's like we can't get from plants and stuff. Like we've had to eat meat from generations and generations
possibly
ago.
Years ago in survival when they didn't have anything else and they were purely surviving. People have eaten people to survive as well. But we have options right now, and actually, and again, I used to think this too, so I'm not judging you at all.
No,
I thought we had to eat
yeah.
animals to survive. I thought we needed milk for calcium. We actually get all our nutrition from plants. The animals eat the plants, and then we get the nutrition secondhand through the animal's body. So it's like, here's our nutrition, here's the animal, here's the slaughterhouse, and here's us. We don't need the animal or the slaughterhouse part, we just need our plants. And the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics all come to the same conclusion that a plant-based diet is healthy for all stages of life, including infancy, pregnancy, and bodybuilding. So my question to you, as someone who seems very compassionate and kind, if you know that we could live without harming animals and eating a plant-based diet and living vegan, do you think that aligns more with you, and do you think that's more ethical?
I think if there's 100% possibility that we can live a better life expectancy than we have now, with eating things that don't affect people, don't affect animals, don't affect anything, and keep the world better than it you know, already is now, because it's kind of in the pits at the moment.
Yeah.
But I think it's good for people to try new things and to maybe go in that line, but unless we know or we don't know at the moment, because obviously, well, I haven't really heard of I have people that are vegan and vegetarian in my life, but I don't know the fully. I need the evidence to say this is going to happen. If this is going to improve my life, then I maybe will put it into consideration. But until I have that evidence to prove my life isn't going to get worse, it's not going to change, it's not going to put me at risk of any more illnesses.
Yeah.
Until then.
Well, the evidence is there. The science proves this, that we can be healthy and thrive. But we're looking at this from the oppressor's position, which is currently you, and it was me. Actually, this is an injustice to the animals. The animals are the ones going to a slaughterhouse. So for them, what's best for them? For them to go into a slaughterhouse and be killed for us, or for them not to be?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. So imagine if it was you. Imagine if I ate humans and I was like, the best nutrition for me is Kira, sorry.
You're fine.
The best nutrition for me is if I eat Kira, and I'm going to thrive and I'm going to live a long life if I eat Kira.
Yeah.
Would that be okay for me then to send you to a slaughterhouse if I thought that I could live a long, healthy life? Or would you want to be free and you wouldn't want to go to a slaughterhouse and go into a gas chamber or have your head decapitated for a sandwich?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, but how urgent would you want to be free? Would you want someone to take their time?
Yeah.
Or would you want someone to go, actually, hopefully this person understands the severity of what you're about to go through, stops paying for you and others to go into slaughterhouses, and in the time that they've stopped paying for it, they can educate themselves on the nutrition side and things. Do you think that's a better scenario for you if you were the victim?
Probably not. Obviously, if you put it in that perspective, I think you get that opinion of, oh, if you kind of open your eyes to it, it's kind of a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can't really, like I said, and you said that there's science out there and it proves everything, but I don't think that in time or in, I don't know, 20 years, maybe I change maybe I change how I eat, what I do. But I think until it's produced everywhere and everyone kind of has that idea of, you know, this is how our future life could be, I think then that's when I think everyone will try and conform to eating a certain way. But I don't think we can kind of influence people's opinions on these things, because it's kind of like everyone has their own opinion, don't they?
Everyone has their own opinion, but
science can sometimes prove different things, which then people change their opinion.
So the issue is with this is that our opinion has been kind of put in front of our face for us. So I grew up eating animals all my life.
Yeah.
But I said I loved animals.
Yeah.
So the only way I could have ever consumed animals if someone was putting in front of my face, happy cows, RSPCA approved, organic, free range. That's the only way I consumed animals, because they told me I had to, and they told me that it was okay. The reality is far from that.
Yeah.
I've been inside farms myself.
Yeah.
I've been inside pig farm only recently, chicken farm.
Yeah.
And I stood outside a slaughterhouse and I've heard these baby animals scream for their life in gas chambers. No one ever showed me that.
No.
No one ever told me that male chicks are blended up alive for eggs, and all egg-laying hens are gassed in gas chambers.
Yeah.
With that knowledge, I would have never ever put a penny into those industries. And that's why I'm out here today, because the reason people aren't vegan is one of three things: lack of education, lack of empathy, or lack of intelligence. Which one would you fall into?
Maybe education.
Yeah, and I was the same.
Yeah, but I don't think that someone could be unintelligent based off of their food intake.
Remember, animals aren't food, just like how you are food.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
But if they have the education on what happens to animals, and they have the empathy, what other reason would they not choose to put animals inside slaughterhouses apart from lack of intelligence?
Opinion.
But then again, is that intelligence? Because if your opinion is that it's okay to abuse and kill animals, what does that say about you?
But then you could say, well, obviously probably wasn't, but Einstein, he was probably one of the most intelligent people in the world.
Was
he vegan? No way!
At the time, he called himself vegetarian because the dairy industry wasn't around.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was.
Wow, I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Okay then.
Yeah, it's interesting once you know. For you, I think you really need to see what happens.
Yeah, probably.
Because the reason I went vegan, it was about 4 years ago. Someone was doing a debate table just like I'm doing today, and footage of the dairy industry came up, and I had no idea that cows are killed for milk. I had no idea cows produce milk because they're mothers.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, why the hell am I drinking cow's milk when I'm not a baby cow? And I realised what had suddenly gone on, and I went vegan on the spot. But when the guy was talking, I was listening and I was like, oh, this is sounding very logical. I'm understanding the dairy industry.
Yeah.
But it was when I saw the footage that instantly changed everything for me.
Yeah.
And I can see in you what I felt in me years ago.
Yeah.
And I think if you saw the animal's eyes going to a slaughterhouse, could you say, I'm really sorry, but I just want to eat your body or your milk or your eggs? Or would you say, I'm not going to send you in there because I don't think this is right?
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I mean, people have their own opinions and you can't really change how anyone thinks. I mean, yeah, obviously people are going to change more because of, like you said, science or anything that comes up in life. But I think that people will always have that opinion, whether they like it or not. And I think
some people.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be a small amount of people in this world who are just psychopaths. Like there's always going to be some people who kill other people. There's always going to be racist people. There's always going to be homophobes.
Yeah.
But the people who are good people, once they know better, they change. And this is why this is the fastest growing movement of our time, because people just don't know what happens to animals. But everybody says they're an animal lover. Like, would you have said you're an animal lover?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, I've had pets in my life.
Yeah.
And you know, they're obviously always have a soft space in your heart.
Absolutely.
And when you see those animals on like Instagram and stuff, and you're scrolling, and they're all like just sat there doing their own little thing.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, oh, that's kind of cute.
Yeah. And could you then imagine someone saying,
yeah,
but
I think you put that into that perspective of
that's it.
That's actually what they've have to go through in their future.
Yeah.
I guess you could. Yeah. I see your opinion side of it. Yeah.
Yeah. But what's your opinion? I'm interested in your opinion.
I don't know. I'm a meat eater, and I think that.
Would you have eaten any of your animals who you love? And just said,
no,
I'm a meat. Yeah.
That's kind of true.
So what? No. What's the difference between your animals?
Because I don't have any relation to them.
Okay.
I think having that distance between this is my group, I don't
so
really.
If an animal
really
isn't in your group, then
I think that
they can
the affection for your pet is different to an affection for an animal. Obviously it's still wrong, and I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, because like my affection for my husband is obviously higher than mine for you, because I've just met you, but
obviously.
I wouldn't ever want to harm you.
No, obviously, and I get what you mean. I understand it completely.
Even if I really enjoyed the taste of your meat or your flesh, I still would be like, no, you deserve your right to life, because you've been born into this world, just like the cows and the chickens, and they want to live just like we do.
Yeah.
All they have in their world, in their life, is what?
Well,
life. Their life.
Yeah.
They've got nothing else. Everyone takes everything from them. Yeah. And then people even take their babies and kill them. They rape them. They breed them. They then send them to a slaughterhouse. And they get gassed in gas chambers and have a knife stabbed in their throat. They don't deserve that. They're innocent beings. They're baby, innocent, vulnerable beings. And you have so much power to either be involved in that with your money, and I was as well, or now that I've let you know and you're open-minded to this, you can stop right this instant, and you can be against this injustice. Because I don't know about you, but the thought of an animal ever going into a slaughterhouse for me breaks my heart, and I just could never do that now. But before I knew better, I didn't know what I was doing. So once you know better, you can do better. So you've got two paths to go down. And I truly hope that you'll choose the compassionate path. And I think, I think if you've got YouTube, in your notes or something, you should write down a documentary called Dominion. I really urge you to watch it, because you're the kind of person who could really help so many animals, and they need us so bad. They've got all these big industries against them, even the RSPCA are against them, so they really need us.
No, yeah, I can see what you mean. I completely understand with like most of your points. It's just, I think people are always going to have those opinions.
People will have opinions, but
Yeah.
the good ones change.
Yeah,
And it
that's
takes
true.
a small amount of people to change it. Like when women didn't have rights,
Yeah,
the men
that's true.
didn't want
Yeah.
women to have rights.
Yeah.
They were saying things like, no, for years women haven't
Yeah,
had
yeah.
rights. Men are better, we're
Yeah.
superior, they're beneath us. And now women have rights and everyone's like, oh yeah, it's normal, of course we wouldn't have rights. And one day in the future, generations in the future will look back and go, what the hell, my grandparents ate animals?
Yeah.
Why were they eating babies? Why were
Yeah.
they eating periods of chickens and
Yeah.
breast milk of cows when that
Yeah.
was for their baby?
Yeah.
They'll think we're crazy. We have a chance to change now,
Yeah,
and you do too.
yeah, that's true.
So yeah, check out Dominion on YouTube.
Yes, I will.
Thank you so much for
Yeah,
sitting
thank
down
you.
and
Thank you for that.
letting me have some of your time today.
Yeah, no
Thank
worries.
you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. See ya.